And guess what happens? They draw the cards first, chat. The game doesn't even know. They take 6 life, sacrifice 3 creatures, lose all their cards. Just off one alone. Braid a way to win the mirror. Wow, Urbrass Forge. Oh no! How do I win? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. What just happened? I mean, sure. Dude, I can't do much about it. What a time to draw it. What a day in the life, you know? Sometimes it just be like that. Oh, dude. Is Zoraline, you're gonna have to do all the work in the world here. Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing some Yawgmoth Bat. This is arguably the best deck in standard. It is my favorite deck to play as of right now. It has been mono black in the past, but right now the Yawgmoth color combination is so strong, and my favorite part about it is Yawgmoth can be played in so many different ways, like either life gain or like a low to the ground aggro deck or like a really control heavy deck. But here we are fitting into the mid-range slot and arguably the best mid-range deck in the meta, and it's to me not necessarily that close. But what do we have in here for removal right away to start talking about the deck a bit? And that is 3 cutdowns, 4 go for a throw. It's pretty heavy on these cards. Sometimes you'll see 4 cutdowns with how the meta is built, but I opted to play something like a Pest Control, a card that we can cycle into matchups that cutdown stuff wouldn't be necessarily good in, or this card can absolutely dominate in a match. And then we have 1 temporary lockdown to kind of act as a different copy of Pest Control. Temporary lockdown only hitting our Shepherd and Deep-Cavern Bat, which obviously these cards are kind of self-explanatory. And then we get into some of the more valuable cards in our deck, being a Zoraline and a Preacher. This card is by far like my favorite card in the deck to play with, but I wanted to say by far the best card in the deck, but that's not always true. That's what I love about this deck so much. But this has Flying Vigilance whenever a bat you control attacks, which would be itself or a Deep-Cavern Bat or an Aclazotz, I guess. But they got a lot more problems if Aclazotz is attacking. But whenever you attack, or whenever it attacks or enters the battlefield, you may pay a white and a black and 2 life. When you do, return target non-land permanent with mana value 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Finality just means if it were to die again, it would then be exiled, so you can't bring back the same Deep-Cavern Bat over and over again. And I love that about this card. Attack and enter the battlefield is my favorite ability on a card, and that's why I love like Primeval Titan so much. If you know what that is from playing Modern, Primeval Titan's great. But Zoraline, very solid. And then Preacher of the Schism, a card that ever since it's been printed has been very good. It just randomly dodges cut down, which is nice by being a 2/4. The Death Touch means that it's always trading itself off. And then whenever it attacks, we gain life or make vampires. And then obviously Preacher's been good for a very long time. Then we have Sheoldred, best 4-mana card in the game. And then we have Beza, arguably the best 4-mana color card in white. Unlike Sheoldred, I think Sheoldred's still better, but Beza provides a lot of catch-up value and a lot of things that you can do with it. That's very nice. You can flicker it and things like that. But Season of the Burrow being another MVP in this deck, and this card is kind of our cop-out card, a card that like, oh, we can't deal with that permanent. Where's our season at? And we see that a couple times throughout the video today that you'll see. And we see it reanimate a creature, which actually ends up being almost more important than at the exile part in a situation in the game. So it's very, very cool that both parts of this card is relevant. And then whatever we don't use, we just make rabbits. And it's very, very cool. So other than that, a lot of these other cards we've played before, or we know what they're kind of in here for. So with that said, we're going to go right into the games. If you all enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing. I truly appreciate it. Let's just go out there and prove why Yawgmoth Midrange is the best deck to be playing right now. Yeah, I'm going to keep 2 Surveil lands and a go for the throat. Seems like fine. All right, well, we're going to have some creatures to target. So Virtue's also pretty sick. It is -3/-3. So like if they play the 2/3 bunny here, we can remove it with just a Virtue. And then maybe target this with the go for the throat later. Another Might Color. Might Color is really sick. It's definitely the hard card to beat. Very Lockdown eventually will also be sick. The problem is this can now get away from us, which does suck. And then I'll have to be forced to go for the throat it, even though this is technically the worst one of the lot anyway, right? So it's not like that big of a deal. But I can also maybe play land and get the Zoraline online because it's a 3/3 vigilance creature, which can attack and gain some life, but also then defend the house on the back end. Second rabbit cavern. Oh boy. Going to have to fight here, and the cut down is one of the great draws of all time here. So we'll pop this, which will make the Mentor shrink, and then we'll remove it. No white mana here, which allows them to play hop up or the card that makes 3 rabbits. That card, I don't know what it's called, but the problem here is the fact that they don't have a green for this, and they can't make it green unless it's for a creature. So these are basically colorless unless they're putting a creature on the stack, which now I'll surveil here. Fountainport's good, but I just need to stop hitting lands. Now we'll play the bat. Now the bat can defend here pretty well too, right? Like, I don't know what they play that really gets me, because they can't, again, play the hop up. They can't really play a lot of other things, and their mana base from their hand is literally why we win this game. We go first. This hand is expensive, but I'm gonna keep it. It's probably one of the more expensive hands I've kept in a while. Like, if you count this as 2, it's still, I mean, the idea is that it's not 2, but this is a pretty expensive hand. Rabbits again? What in the world? What am I playing against? I'm going to play Deep-Cavern Bat here, and the reason I'm opting to play Deep-Cavern Bat is to kind of guide them into playing more 1-drops here. And hop to it is annoying, but it gets picked up by my Pest Control. So for me, it's take the quest color, have them play land, then play that. They can't even really cast a hop up right now, by the way, because they don't have a white mana, which is quite funny. No, obviously no block here. Miss a land drop, kind of sucks. Let's attack, and then we will just sorcery virtue one of these away, and then our opponent is going to do what magicthegathering does, and they'll hit the white basic land and then cast the hop up. No. Interesting. Just attack, sure. We're just kind of net equal here. Attack. We really need to find removal for this guy, even though, like, technically Pest Control does pick up a lot of the 1/1s, but they just concede. What? We won this matchup back to back pretty much the exact same way. Opponent goes first. This hand is really bad, man. I don't know if I can keep that hand. I can keep here and then just throw the seasons back, I guess. And then hopefully maybe find a land to play these, and then maybe play this on 4, and hopefully it's fine. We throw the season away. Let's see what we end up finding, or if it's mono red and we're in trouble anyway. Third surveil land. Okay. At this point, I just want to play the other surveil land and just then play. This is my 3rd land drop. Playing tap land simulator here. They could have had a cut down, so that might have been the kind of hesitation play from our opponent. Sure, take a look. I don't have a whole lot going on. I got some lands, some good creatures. Creatures, the better of the two when you're coming, like you're talking about, like a generic board entry. Your creature's better, and they kind of agree with that. So, very interesting. And now I can play this, and then I'll pass, and then I'll cycle this harvester. Should just be screaming at them that something bad's about to happen. I guess I'll just let the 1 damage happen and just see if they play something significantly worse. It instantly goes to my turn. I did not like that. It went past his second main so fast that I almost just hit the button to, like, take my turn. And basic plains here is pretty good draw. And they like Preacher more, and that's proven by what they took from my hand. So I'm going to put a Gix on the stack instead. Like, they clearly wanted the Preacher gone, so let's make the one that they don't like more. and like leave it behind so I can cast it next turn? Sure. Only downside to these cards. Oh my. Uh-oh. That's not good. They're gonna give me this. They're gonna crow give it to me. That's not a fun time. Surveil. Season. I guess I can keep this season. I can play the tap line's gonna cost me so bad. All right, let's play Gix. Hopefully they just don't have it here and they have to take one more cycle. At the beginning of your end step, you may discard a card and lose 2 life. Sacrifice a creature. You may lose battlefield. Discard 3 cards, 6 life. Yada yada yada. Sure. They go for the throw on my Gix. Fine. Play Bandit's Talon. Beza is probably the card to go. I'd like to play Preacher plus like have to go for the throat. And I know I can't do this, which is kind of poopy. But I'm going to Surveil. Cut down. I'm going to let that go. And then I'm going to play this Preacher. And then hopefully this Preacher's fine. And then I can use this and exile, right? Yeah. I can just exile the Gambit if they don't bounce it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Opponent. Oh, please don't have a duress. Please don't play land. Play duress, please. I'm begging right now. Oh, dude, this is gonna be the best turn of all time. Opponent, I got some bad news. I got some bad news, big dog. I understand you're trying to meme me right now, but this is leave the battlefield, right? I'm sorry, opponent. You can draw 2 cards. And guess what happens? They draw the cards first, chat. So now those left the battlefield, they got 6 triggers on the stack, or should. The game doesn't even know. They take 6 life, sacrifice 3 creatures, lose all their cards. Just off 1 alone. Dude, look at the Gambit. I mean, they did the Gambit. That's for sure. No way that happened. That's crazy. That's so funny. And they're going to try to win here, which, like, it doesn't really do much for us. Let's play Sheoldred in attack. And Season absolutely blew that play out. That's insane. We play Swamp, and then we'll pass. They'll draw. They'll take a damage. That trigger happens and nothing checks. But yeah, they're basically what they were trying to do is they were trying to play the Falcon. And they were trying to play the Falcon and have it like give me the thing so I'm taxed with it the entire game. But yeah, they play a second one and I just exile them both. Very cool. All right, we go first. I'm gonna get this fortress down immediately. The Fable Passage can obviously wait until turn 4. We're against Burrow's Control, which is going to be tough. Now we do have white in our deck, so we can technically remove some stuff. If need be. But yeah, this is 100% that deck. Cut down not really going to be used for a lot, so we're going to go ahead and just fire it off here. And then we're going to play the Zoraline, most likely probably lose it, and then we'll try to play Sheoldred, and we're going to hope it all kind of comes together. This is a 3/3 flying bird that can also die to just getting hit with an Elspeth Smite. There's Nerba's Forge, sure. Now the difference between this deck and what we've played against in the past is like we do have removal. Like we can answer this. It's just a matter of fact, like it's just a matter if we can or not in time. So there's nothing to do here, so we decline. I hate that it asked me if there's not even anything I can do but Sheoldred, unless there's something I'm missing. You may pay 2 if you do return target non-land permanent with mana value grave from your graveyard. Yeah, so like I can't do it anyway. And it is a non-land permanent with mana value 3. They sack that. They're gonna try one, make a 1/1. Sure. Hoping it can block, but most likely it's not blocking. Going to remove it out of my way. Should I remove it out of my way? I think the answer should be yes. Or the answer can be play Fable Passage, bring this up, Yeah, I mean, they gotta block anyway. I just shouldn't waste my resources, I guess. Bring this up. Attack here. Gain life. And a lot of it at this point. Now they're going to chump block Sheoldred, of course. And we're looking to get Sunfalled here, I suppose. They draw. They go to 10. This can obviously put a little bit more pressure on and ensure that we close out the game. Yeah. Get Sunfalled by the true gamer. Then I'm probably looking to play the Harvester. So weird here because I would love to just keep attacking. I guess, can I beat them in time with it? Or do I just play a Sheoldred and hope, like, I guess Sheoldred does 2 damage too, but I also progress the board. It's constant damage here, but I guess if they have a get loss, it's worse. Sheoldred pings. Now if they tap out, dude's like nonsense play. Elspeth Smite's possible, so I'm not going to block. They hit me. Sure. Carrot cake, sure. Now I definitely probably Harvester here, getting this thing out of the way. Sure. And then they can bring this up. It's a little bit weird. I don't really like it that much. They go to the bottom. Could have Elspeth Smite still. I'm not a fan of walking into it. Who's the combat? Let's see. They could have Lightning Helix too. The attack comes up. What? A 2/2? Move this. And let's get this off the board. Basically, I want the Sheoldred to hit. I want the Sheoldred to hit. And then I want to be able to attack with the Fortress, potentially. Okay. There's a Carrot Cake comes in. They scry to the bottom. And I'm looking to remove this. Because, again, I'm all in here. I know this seems super aggressive. And I believe that it is. But I am all in to get this Sheoldred to make contact. And then when they draw a card, they'll lose 2. And then if their answer is a Sunfall, I get to attack with the Fortress and then win. And I think that's exactly what we end up getting. They had to have like a get lost effect or something. They do the torch play, which is a pretty good sneaky play. But Urbrash Forge good against a lot of decks. We are very aggressive whenever we have to be. And just like that, I mean, Sheoldred after Zoraline into like a lot of pressure and the Fortresses early, which is very nice. And we come away with the win. We go first. Yeah, I was saying it's like a snap keep, I think. The weird part is I might want to just play the courtyard first and then play the fortress after, because I would like to just stay consistent on like removing stuff, especially with how aggressive aggro decks have been. This matchup, I guess the Shepherd can go. Temporary lockdown might be fine. May not be the best thing of all time. It's just hard discard. Interesting. Our opponent exiles a card from their hand. It's just a 1/1, but they could flicker it. I mean, get rid of cut down, I guess. I'm gonna play a Preacher and see if that works. They could remove my Preacher. And if they commit to keep doing this small stuff, then yeah, Preacher, I guess. I would love to play this, but the fact that like my Preacher can get removed or this can get removed, but this can also bring back a Preacher, seems like significantly a better play. Now there's a Deep-Cavern Bat, which has to take the temporary lockdown. There's just like, it's not a debate. You have to take the lockdown. Although like obviously my bat's pretty annoying, but if you don't take a lockdown, then what are you doing? Sure. I will keep the threat. Sure. And now discard, you're going to have to figure out a way to win the game. Because I now no longer have permanents in my hand. And I'm attacking. You must figure it out, opponent. Now, are they going to play the snake here and then force me to sack some stuff? Probably. But it is what it is. Sheoldred, sure. But it is good. You're going to target me to mill? Kind of dangerous with this card in play, I'm just saying. Draw for turn? Sure. Sheoldred happens. That's fine. Like, not fine, but like a play, you know? But yeah, so these two are going to attack. That'll happen, and I'll pay this. Or I guess sure, I don't know. Of this. I kind of forgot that this was the small side of that. So I was like, yeah, dude, I'll bring that back and do minus whatever. But I already paid, so I can't cancel from there. So I kind of messed that up. For sure. This is the weird part about Preacher is like, I kind of need to hold Preacher back so they can't attack me with Sheoldred, but I'm also just making 1/1 so they can't attack me with Sheoldred. They can, but then I'm all out attacking them. But we'll see what they do. Now, if they can do the snake for 1 mana here, that'll be pretty good. Or like for 5 mana minus like a card. But I played this in a way that I could be representing a Go for the Throat, and then they get blown out to kind of sack their permanent. But I don't necessarily like agree with that. I think just sacking your Hopeless Nightmare to play a 5 mana snake here is probably fine. They do Hostile Investigator, which then I get my Preacher back, so it's fine. Sure, Arena, if you were going to make a pick anyway, why didn't we just do that? Like, oh my. Arena makes me mad sometimes. Harvester? I'll keep a Harvester on top, I guess. Better than not keeping it on top. And now I'll just attack. And then we'll gain 1 life. I'll bring this Preacher back. Now I have a Death Touching blocker on the way back, but we'll see what they do. And gaining some life off these vampires, which is nice. But our opponent seems to have put a Hostile Investigator on the stack and close their client for the day. So we'll see what happens here, and we'll be back whenever they make a decision or the game forces them to concede. Okay, very cool. My opponent left. I'm glad I spent 3 turns for whatever reason to finish that game out. Sure, man. Opponent goes first. I have a removal spell on turn 2. Hopefully that's enough. Boy. I don't know about you, chat, but I'm sick of the Boros Control deck already. And I played it the other day, but at the same time, I'm sick of it. Am I allowed to be sick of it? I don't know. But I'm going to look at their hand, get this thing Lightning Helixed, and they're going to play an Urbrass Forge, and I'm going to play something. Yeah, go for it. Braid, sure. Braid, a way to win the mirror. Wow, Urbrass Forge, oh no! How do I win? I do have Seasons of the Burrow, so like I do have an answer. It's just like, do we get there? Right. If I get to that answer. Unsure, so we'll play this. I'll probably have to use this Virtue as just like a blocker, because we do have 2 more turns ahead of us where we kind of have to stop ourselves from dying. And this thing has Trample, so it's not like card gets any more value than that. I could just go for the Throat it, but I'm just blocking here. If they use a removal spell, this is a troll decision, I think. If I've seen a Deep-Cavern Bat and I'm like so keen on getting the damage through there, I don't agree with that at all. Especially considering it looked like I was going to block already. Like, just let me block, man. You don't get any damage through, but at the same time, it's like, but also like choose not to lose that game. But here, because they have a get loss, I'm gonna play this, and the reason I'm gonna play this is because then I'll be able to make an indestructible version of it. That's kind of my goal, because I'll play a Season of Burrow, exile this, and then bring this back as an indestructible creature that the kind of destroy creature deck has to deal with, and they'll have to Sunfall my like 1 creature and a Braid instead of a get loss. Sure. Now I'm gonna play Fable Passage, go get my basic 4 black sources, 3 white. So I guess I could grab a basic plains. Fine. Let's see it. See it, opponent. Do you have a win condition outside of Urbrass Forge? I don't know. Fountainport seems better here. But I think deck thinning actually matters a ton. It's Fable. It is Fable. Grab a plains, like I said. Do this. 2 and 3. target this and then bring back this. They want to, I don't know, figure something out, sure. But again, this bat's now indestructible, so Get Lost doesn't do anything about it, and then I get to attack with it over and over again, and then get like Deep-Cavern Bats back from my graveyard. Can't obviously pay this, but bringing back Deep-Cavern Bat, especially if they have to use a Get Lost on it, then it's just kind of 2-for-1 them in the sense that it took a spell earlier, like a Lightning Helix, and now it took another spell. And Zoraline can obviously block all this for days because, again, destructible. Second Urbrax Forge, sure. Can I find my second season? I have no idea. Zoraline can... It takes 3 turns before Urbrax Forge can do anything. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. What just happened? What? Yes. Play this. Then I got questions for my opponent. This one. Combat. They haven't hit a land, so they have to hit a land plus have Sunfall. So I'll bring this Deep-Cavern Bat back. Look at my opponent's hand. Destroy all creatures. I Get Lost and a second Urbrax Forge. I guess it's just a I don't know. Urbrax Forge, I guess, so they can't just like play it again. I feel like they're gonna no witnesses anyway. Can't imagine they do much else. And then I'm gonna just start playing their deck with a Gix if they don't. A little bit weird. But sure, cash your no witnesses. Fine. Huh? You got your other Urbrax Forge back. Block. Oh, it was this game where they hit this with a spell and I blocked the Mirrex and everything. I can't end up winning it. It's going to be kind of annoying. But that stuff happens all the time, so it's fine. Especially because I keep like paying and doing this stuff. We'll hit. I will do the Gix. The Fountain, and then I'll play this. Now this can grow in tandem with the Urbrax Forge, and so can my Gix. Unless they Get Lost it, of course, because it doesn't kind of permanently stay here. But if my opponent doesn't remove it, I'm going to activate it, discarding 5 cards to it, and trying to cast 5 of their cards to win the game. Although it's kind of a bad idea because they're all kind of removal spells. I guess I have carry. Oh, I could get that card. Couldn't I? First, if they leave on top, then Gix is good. I feel like a Get Lost is coming. I guess I could blow up this, can it? Yeah. I forgot Get Lost could do that. So now my Gix lives. Zoraline just sits in front. They stopped attacking. Very cool. There's a Harvester. Harvester's not bad. But I think it's just good to do 5 here. I would like your stuff. I'm gonna try here. Nice. This one and this one. So I don't want to cast that. Cavern Bat's fine. Maybe not the best thing of all time, you know, yet. Double attack here. Fine, we can't pay that. And then they kind of have to block the Gix. At least I thought they had to block the Gix. Helix for 3. This gets blocked. 4. Sure. Let's take a double draw. Now, they didn't block. I guess did you rip Sunfall? Which is like why this might be just good to keep then. Get Sunfall and land. That'd be so gross. No. Okay. Urbrax Forges. Obviously, we chumped the bigger one. Because that's just how it works. And I can Deep-Cavern Bat this last card, if that makes sense. Up here. And this creature being indestructible is kind of crazy. But they're also dead here, right? Yeah, they're dead here. Well, no, they got the carrot cake to activate. So, well, now they might be dead again. Here, into here. We'll cast this. Might be dead. They're dead. Okay. Sacrifice character. Should be dead, I think. Could be dead. Mass heart chat. I'm not sure. I feel like they're dead. They should be dead. So enter. I'll target. Sure, I'll take that. That makes sense. Cast a cut down here on this guy. And then I'll bring up this land. And we'll attack out. And this will be lethal. Very cool. Very, very cool. I think that's twice we've beat Urbrass Forge with this deck. Especially like turn 3 Urbrass Forge. But man, was the season not clutch in exiling the first one and then just putting an indestructible creature that our opponent wasn't entirely sure how indestructible worked, I don't think. Or they were rage tilt. I don't know. But they still like almost won with making that play too, right? So it's kind of whack. Opponent goes first. We have Pest Control, which can be good. We'll try. Oh no, dude. My worst nightmare. A land's fine, especially when I have a Beza. Oh, it's blue white? Okay. I thought it was going to be mono blue and I was going to throw up, but we'll see. What in the world, bro? I hate everything about this. They don't even have a land. They kept this? What? What? That one, I guess, is the only card that surveils, and it gets cheaper if I attack. Of course, why not, man?
The weak-minded will be educated
Why
by Rexi's way.
So annoying. Oh, it's so annoying. This one, no attacks. And, like, of course, like, the Jace is doubled here. So it's kind of like... Plus again. Gross.
Organic minds.
Oh, now you missed the land, huh? It was sick. Like... Mill themselves immediately. Sure. Cycle this. The line? Sure. Furry Lockdown doesn't really cover anything, I guess. So I guess I just play a Sheoldred here. Then no. But now if they want to like surveil 2, draw a card, do some of that nonsense, they have to kind of deal with it. And we have this dispersal in hand that we took from them, so they don't quite have it anymore. So they're paying for this. So they're going to take a little bit more damage, and then he's just going to find out whether he's whatever he's plussing on or minusing on. Could minus on itself and then try to go for Abuelos. Which I wouldn't even mind if I was them. Mill me instead of yourself. You realize you're like the combo deck, right? Okay. What just happened? Go first with a very interesting hand. I'm going to keep. I'll play this Fable Passage. And I'm going to pass. You don't get to know what I'm playing. Abbots? Did we go full circle already? Oh, we did. Okay, cool. So Pest Control's good, especially if I draw a land. A multicolored land or a white land. I'll take either. A Deep-Cavern Bat? Gross. So I go with Bat, and I'm going to try to curve it in a way that we can blow up everything. So there's a 1-drop, a 2-drop, and another 2-drop. Both of these are kind of devastating. I think they'll opt for this one first. This can get hit with my minus. This one's so much larger though. The Rabiscus +1/+1, so I think it'll hit me for 3. I guess I take this one. Interesting. It's an interesting call, I think. Play land, especially when I have a second Deep-Cavern Bat. I can take like their bigger thing, which should imply like some scary stuff for them. Do I hit a land? I do not. Okay. Do I wait here and then duplex this thing with the go for the turn? I think the answer is yes. I think I have to. Most likely they're going to play this and kick it or offspring it, which then implies like I have to remove the mentor immediately. Or is it this one? This will just be big. No, because we're opting to pest control them. That's the idea. We get rid of that now because if we target it when this is in play, they'll get extra counters. So we're looking to pest control. Hopefully we hit the white land here. If not, we're gonna lose regardless. Oh man, you're really just gonna do this to us, huh? Arena, really gonna get us like this, huh? Take this one. Now we're in. I'm gonna attack with one of these, I guess. I don't really care if they do it post combat. Let's see hop to it in the valley guy. Oh yeah. You didn't want to play the other one? Oh, they want to scry more than put the counter on? That's kind of crazy. These all have trample. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean, sure. Dude, I can't do much about it. What a time to draw it. What a day in the life, you know? Sometimes it just be like that, opponent. I want you to know that we've had that way longer than necessary. We just needed the white source. Thankfully, it came in untapped, so we get a little lucky there with the mana base not coming in last second, but in time that we don't lose the game. And I'm going to keep that land on top because I think right now we just need to connect these lands. And right now, we're winning the race, weirdly enough, with how this is working because this is just for 2. We hit them for 2 and then go back up to 7. They play another land, which does that mean all you've drawn is lands here? If so, that kind of sucks for our opponent. We left on top, might be a little scared after getting pest controlled. But we'll see. We'll see indeed. Oh, look at that thing, dude. It's actually cool. I like this. I don't like the one that like blows a whistle. Every time it does that, it like throws me off and I don't like it at all. If they remove my Deep-Cavern Bat with like a fight spell or something, I can then, well, if it's a fight spell, I just remove that. Okay. They're returning that to the battlefield and they're exiling this. And they're both targets, right? Okay. So I can't fizzle the spell. So I will remove this. And then they'll exile that. And then I'll draw my Fable Passage. Which is nice now that I left a Fable Passage on top. Okay, that I left 2 Fable Passages on top. Oh, it's so funny. Please activate. Thank you. Now we are looking to go in our hand. We do this. What's this exactly say? 10 creatures, you get a 1/1 until end of turn. Or rabbit, sure. Now we attack here. This is all fine and good, and then we slam a Sheoldred, which is definitely a better, stronger creature. Now, this does have Indestructible. Now we have to kind of worry about how we target. However, this exile, so we're actually covered when it comes to that. And Sheoldred can never kill that thing, which is kind of funny. It's kind of weird how it works. Did you find another season? If so, that's crazy. Oh, no. I was actually kind of pumped for him. I thought they had another one. But the thing is, this doesn't get to block until the rest of the time. So that kind of sucks. But we are going to remove it, unfortunately, for them. So we'll do a white here. And then I think they have to block, or at least they're kind of obligated to block. Maybe not have to block. Maybe that's a strong word. But we'll exile this. Because indestructible creatures is kind of annoying comparatively. And then we'll double attack here. And they can't really afford to block. Now, I guess I have a Gix to block no matter what, so I'm just going to double draw here, and then maybe wheel the Gix and then win by playing the rabbits. So, very cool. Go first. We don't have removal here, but I don't mind this hand that much. Can't always keep a hand to stop mono red, even though, like, maybe you're supposed to. But I don't feel like mulling this hand is necessarily the right play either. See what we get. We have a Virtue I'll keep. In this case, they do play a creature if they are mono red. Exactly what they are. This is Scamp. Now, we can do one of two things. And the answer... I'll say the answer to Deep-Cavern Bat. I don't know. It feels like the answer. Find a slick shot that's like worse. The Scamp, I guess. Or the challenge They have a green. They can Giant Growth. They can Tyvar Stand. They can Audacity. So I just take the protection spell. I know how like these things work. You kind of always take the protection spell. At least they're not. I don't mind this as much because they're not mono red, right? Before they're just mono red flinging a creature, right? And those are the decks I typically find kind of annoying. Keep, I guess. Get rid of this. Attack. We just keep the go for the throat. Like remove this final creature, I guess. Even though I might just go for Zoraline and just attack and then like let this thing do its thing. This is 3. They can do potentially 6, and then I guess if they have a fling, then sure. I could die to that almost. Isn't that crazy? Like that's what's so annoying about this deck is like they're 1 or 2 spells away from just killing me at like all times. So now I just attack with my bat. I'm gonna play this on a later date. I have a go for a throw held up. I might as well hold it up. It just doesn't seem like a whole lot of other reasons to not do that. Giant Growth. Do I go for it now? If they have a Tyvar Stand, it sucks. But yeah, I mean, sure. I was hoping I could get more out of that, so I'm gonna go for this. If they have the Tyvar Stand, it didn't matter regardless, right? Oh, of course they do. Good thing I took the Tyvar Stand. Just for them to draw another one immediately. Right, chat? Right, dude? At least now we're kind of like tapped out, right? No way. No. Oh, dude. Is Zoraline? You're gonna have to do all the work in the world here. You do gain 2 life here. This Deep-Cavern Bat does. Why'd they have no Tyvar Stand, dude? It didn't matter there. Like, with the Tyvar Stand, it doesn't matter. So, very cool. Very sick. Very sick draw. I almost want temporary lockdown, but I'm not gonna. Because, like, I like my Deep-Cavern Bat. I think it's pretty cool. Now I can double creature here. In response to anything. Double attack. We will be declining this trigger. I promise you that one. Then we're gaining 5. Or we gain life up to 5. I hate to just ask you, even though you have no legal targets. Like, you can still pay the cost. But with that, we hit Diamond 1. Playing arguably the best deck in Standard. It's kind of nice, honestly. Like, I know, obviously, it's super exciting to see oddball decks and different decks. But sometimes for, like, me, personally, it's nice to just play like a good deck and just be like, wow, this is what good cards are sometimes. Because when you're deck building, it's very tough to synergize it all without taking a lot of losses first. With that said, here we are, chat. We hit Diamond 1 with this deck list, and I would argue pretty easy. We had some highlight moments in there for sure, as our opponent tried to move an indestructible creature with damage. We won against mono. Actually, they were gunned aggro, which was cool. Like that. Yeah. Yes, it was Jund. Yeah, it was cool to see a different deck that wasn't just playing the red black land to lie to you. Just normal mono red that just aggroes and hits you. I'm a little salty about it. It's the only match I lost today, and you're not even going to see it because I died on turn 3 to the most stereotypical hand they'll ever have. They basically put a creature in, they grew it, and then they flung it 10 for 10, and I just died. Like, it's so annoying, and I hate it so much. But it is what it is. I mean, those archetypes exist, but at best of 3, the deck is not near as strong as it is. But we played a lot of rabbits today. I'm not entirely sure why. That's actually a deck I haven't tried myself. It feels a lot like Selesnya enchantments in a way, at least that I've seen in the past, where if they're on the play, they can kind of start off hot and then go crazy. But I realistically, every time I see it, I've not seen a lot play the Innkeeper talent, and with all the creatures in their deck that just get counters anyway, I feel like that's a mistake, and I could be wrong, but I think puts counters on things intentionally. There's like Pelucranos that I don't see him play. I almost just rather it be just green white. Sometimes I see these like Naya versions, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't know what they're missing because I haven't seen it myself. I'm gonna talk about this deck. I'm sorry. Whatever. Rabbits. That's a different day. But either way, this deck's just so solid, right? We got the removal. We put a pest control in just to blow up all the small stuff. It doesn't hit anything we have outside of like a token or two that we end up making, or like these ones, or then we make a token off like Beza or something. Either way, perfectly fine to play this in my mind. And then temporary lockdown's pretty good. Only hits like 5 of our things, but most likely we're willing to sacrifice the Deep-Cavern Bat if that's the case with the temporary lockdown, if that's what we have to do. But arguably the best, it's not even arguably, the best card in our deck is this card outside of like Season of the Burrow, as we saw how strong it could be. Zoraline being able to gain life helps us against aggro. It helps us against control. Whenever they counter our Deep-Cavern Bat, we just bring it back, and then just constantly attacking with a flying vigilance creature that can also protect us is so good. This deck's just so good in general. Like I love playing this deck. It's just by far my most favorite deck to play in general, because I like it's super mid-range. It has a lot of grind factor to it. You never really feel like the game's lost because you always have a top deck that's pretty strong for this situation. Obviously, there's going to be games like you couldn't top deck anything to save yourself. But, I mean, even the Greed's Gambits that we saw, like the weird game there, like if they would have, they didn't give it to us, but at the same time, like that was their goal. We randomly have a card in here that answered it, right? Like we exiled both of them, and then our opponent lost on the spot. It was so sick. And it just feels like in this deck, you are like the ultimate utility knife. Like we're so flexible in any spot, and it feels really nice. And we have really solid cards that are on average either the best card in their slot, whether it's like the 4-mana Sheoldred, best card in the slot outside of like maybe Beza. Beza's pretty good, but Sheoldred has lasted the test of time. And then in the 3-mana slot, you can argue that we're playing the best 3-mana spells in here right now. And then in the 5-mana slot, you can argue to an extent we're playing some of the best spells you can be playing outside of like Harvester. Harvester's just cool. We're playing the best cards, and then we have access to arguably the best removal in general. But with that said, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.